Okay, so you guys know how this works. I'm going to go ahead and take phone calls on this phone. I'm going to answer Social Security disability questions, even though a lot of the questions I get are not about Social Security disability insurance or supplemental security income, but try to keep it to those programs. And everybody's like, let me hear about the retirement thing or the DAC thing or the spousals or ex-spousals or survivors. I get that. I totally get it. Or LTD benefits or short-term disability benefits or workers' comp benefit. I get it. I get it. But try to keep it on the SSDI train. Try to keep it on the SSI train. Also, to those people who sent me a text message in between the thing that I'm looking skinnier, I'm looking good, thank you. I really appreciate it. I have been doing like those little weight supplement pills or whatever. I've been trying to get more sleep. I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm just really, really jazzed to go ahead and keep kind of pushing forward, because my life is not very, very awesome. I have the law firm 9 to 5, sometimes mostly 9 to 8. And then basically I work on the house next door and then I do the YouTube channel. So not an easy existence for sure, but I think it's good. I'm a hard and tough guy and we're going to keep rolling. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and put the phone in here, right over here. We're going to get it set up so that basically we're on the work phone program. Here we go. Excellent. And hold on. Okay, cool. Now we're good. All right, everybody, you know the rules, and I want to go through them real quick. I want you all to kind of know them up front. I obviously don't get a full analysis review of what's going on. I don't have access to your full claim if I'm not representing you, so I can't always get it right every time you call in because I don't know the full claim. I haven't read the full file. But these are kind of quick answers and directions to go with for fixing a Social Security problem. Now, with that said, use a fake name when you call in. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you go ahead and have the legal question right up front. No story mode. Number three, when you go through this whole process, it's incredibly important to go ahead and we went through it actually. No story mode. Have your legal question ready, 5 to 7 minutes, and then of course use a fake name. Final thought. If you need more than 5 to 7 minutes and it's not something where you're going to be a client or you might be a client way into the future or whatever, and you need like an hour for me to go ahead and describe things, we do have a thing in the bio where it's a mini contract. You print it out or you just fill it out online and then you submit it. It's $250 for an hour. Pretty much every single lunchtime period I have has somebody who's bought a private hour at this point. So, the bottom line is very popular, but if you need an hour, that option exists. Now, with that said, very, very important. We are going to open up the phone now. So I'm going to put the phone number into the chat area right here. It is 407-279-1754. That's the law firm's phone number. But during Thursday and Tuesday nights, I go live to answer questions. We have the first caller ready to roll. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Oh, looks like they were listening, but then it kind of did something else. Oh, there we go. Here we go again. All right. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hello. Hi.
Howdy.
My name is Sarah. How are you?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Hi. I have a question. I was wondering if you could tell me if on the disability SSA website, it said that I was 90%, like 90% approved medical.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called my attorney and told him that. And then she called me right back and said that it was a mistake. And I was denied.
Okay. So the bottom line is this. What I call the claimant tracker is essentially a system that tries to gauge where you are at in the system. And there are certain things that define that, right? So when the field office sends you to DDS, you get a percentage bump. When DDS gets you into the developmental unit, you get a percentage bump. When you've waited so much time, you get another percentage bump. When you get assigned to DDS rep, you get a percentage bump. When you go to your CEMEs, you get a percentage bump. When the CEME documents come in, you get a percentage bump. That 90% isn't really an approval, right? It's just where you're at in the process. You can still get a denial or approval even if you're at 90%. 90% means you're just right before the decision goes out. And when the decision goes out, if it's likely an approval, it'll go to quality control at the federal government. And if they're like, yeah, this is cool, this is awesome, we're going to approve this, boom, it goes back to the field office, and then you get your approval letter. If they're like, nah, we don't think this is it, we want you to go fix something, they send it back down to DDS to fix it. If DDS is like, okay, I don't think this is an approval, she hands it over to her manager. The manager looks at it and says, nope, denial. They send it right back to the field office. Okay. But that's the reality. That's just a claimant tracker. That tells you how far down the line you are with the application process.
Oh, okay. So if it did went to the field office, and it would take 2 to 4 weeks for it. Then, so
Yeah, I mean, so basically, like the thing is this: once you hit the field office, the next thing that happens after that is you have to begin the appeal process. So if this is your first denial, you're looking at a 561, 3441 PDF. You get those complete. You can even do them online, and then basically you transition into going into essentially DDS for reconsideration.
okay, all right. Thank you very. That's all I was wondering. It's been bothering me for a few months now, but thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking my call.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Remember to mute the computer on your side. Also, go ahead and ask me your legal question. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is sorry. My TV.
Sure.
I have you on like 3 devices right now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Christy. I'm from Minnesota, and I have a free representative that I just talked to last week. My hearing's on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my second hearing. My question is, sorry, I'm nervous.
Yeah, take your time.
I have mental health and physical health issues like PTSD, all that, and then gastroparesis. I'm planning on going to the Mayo Clinic. My first case, the lawyer stole my file from that company, and my therapist I was with for 2.5 years, she works in outsources for the Social Security Social Security Administration.
Sure.
And she lied and put things in there that she found in my medical record. And my representative said he's not a lawyer and he couldn't give me any advice on that and other things. And I'm feeling like it's kind of going the same way as the first hearing where I got a denial, and they gave half truths, Like I got energy assistance even though I had arms workers helping me with everything.
So what legal question? Yeah, hit me with the legal question though.
Okay, the legal question is, is my therapist, like my past therapist, allowed to lie? She said in my intake that I said all of these things to her, which I did not. And I'm concerned because I've watched some of your videos about, past use of drugs. And she found that in my history and put that in as if I said those things to her during our intake, which I did not.
So what happens with those situations is basically copy paste doctors are everywhere. They'll copy and paste information and then just keep it rolling. And so as a result of that, what you have to kind of keep in mind is that the best way to beat that is to have, monthly, weekly checks for narcotics, for alcohol, stuff like that, to show that you're no longer using or abusing, like it has in the past. That's the best way to beat it, because when you go to that doctor and you say, hey, you got this wrong, they're going to come back and be like, well, no, I didn't. That's what you said, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, they're not going to want to change it. They're going to dig their heels in more. So the best way to prove that they're wrong is to have those repetitive tests. Now, you have a hearing around the corner. So the only thing you can do is basically at this point during the hearing, put on the record that the doctor, made a mistake. They, copy pasted your history into current. And as a result of that, you have not used and abused for such and such period.
Right. It does say that it was in the past. So I mean,
that's
good.
good.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
Okay. And also my friend Kayla wrote that probably the best letter, like a character reference letter. That it's a little bit hard to, but can that? It's too late for that to be submitted, right?
No, I mean.
And also, will you take my case if
you get a denial? Yeah, I mean, I can always take a look at it. So, I mean, here's the thing. We get, I don't know, we get a lot of people who call in during the day, and we have to reject a certain amount of them because we are overburdened with the amount of people calling in. So what we do is we go through in detail with that first phone call. Okay, what do they have? What medically is showing? What do the doctors say? What are the medications? What are the side effects? All that stuff. So the best thing to
Right.
do is to send me, especially if you're going to a hearing, send me the exhibit disc, which is like an email they send you with all your exhibits, and your F folder has all your medical records. The best thing you can do is send me that, and I can take a look at it and figure out if it's a claim that I think I can win. And what's happening is I'm taking fewer those middle ground claims where it's like I might be able to win it, I might not. And I'm taking more of those like where I'm like, really, I feel strongly that I can actually get this puppy through. So,
Oh, yeah.
but
Well, of course, yeah.
yeah, but
That's
definitely send me the
understandable.
stuff, and I can always take a look at it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know, how do you get that that information, the disc or whatever? I
Mhm.
tried online to ask for my electronic medical file,
Mhm.
and I was just kind of pushed all around, being able to get it.
Sure, sure. So, what you want to do is you want to go and call the SSA hearing office, and you want to basically ask them to go ahead and whatchamacallit, send you your exhibit disc via email or just your exhibit list via email. And they'll send you an email with a password, and that'll have all of your medical documents, your jurisdictional payment info, disability development documents, non-disability development documents. That'll have everything in there.
Oh, exhibit list by email,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. That is so helpful because I just knew there's a magic word or something that I was missing.
Sure. Yeah. No
Thank
worries.
you. Thank you so much because I really, really am trying to figure out what's wrong. Where is this, what I've done wrong in the past.
Yeah.
I can try
Absolutely.
to correct it. So thank you, and I love what you do, and I give your dog Sweetie a big hug from me and my cat Bruce Lee.
Will do. Will
I
do.
appreciate you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you. You too. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? And remember to go ahead and mute the computer on your side. But what is your legal question? Go ahead.
My name is MN,
Mhm.
and I was always told by a lot of people, I'm only 48 years old. I've got really aggressive MS,
Mhm.
and I was told to wait till after I turn 50, and I'm only 48. What do you think about that?
No, you always apply early, begin the process. Even if an attorney won't take it because you're under 50, begin the process, get it rolling. You can always amend your alleged onset date to be basically at 50. It will technically be the day before you turn 50 years old. You can always amend it to be that. And then at that point, you should be good to go. But the bottom line is that, the way it works is you reserve the option to amend your alleged onset date. So even if you're like spending this time going through it and you get a denial and you get a denial, and then you go in front of the judge, and the judge is like, well, you should grid out at 50. That's what you want to have as an option, because if you're filing at 50, you missed two potential approvals at the initial filing and reconsideration levels at a 40-year-old option. So you want to file immediately. And then if you get to the ALJ and the ALJ is like, let's amend that alleged onset date to the day before you turn 50, then you can take that option.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know how much more that I can keep working, though. I'm only putting in very minimal hours right now.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
no, I hear you.
what was also weird too is I was already considered totally disabled by a doctor here in Minnesota, and the other doctors here that I go to will not give me the total disability.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I don't know what I should do there.
I mean, give me a little background on what's going on. What did they do? What are you worried about? Why aren't they doing the thing you want? Give me a little background. Go ahead.
It's kind of hard. I mean, I have a hard time walking and everything.
Mhm.
And all they want to do is give me drugs and go through physical therapy. Well, I've been there, done that. And it's just, I don't know, I'm just lost,
So, I mean, have they
I'm not.
offered, you said it was MS, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, MS treatment, you can go to the extremes, but the reality is with MS, you're kind of limited in how much they can make you better other than by doing repetitive therapy or then going into potential surgery options, which, MS, we're not super evolved as a medical industry. They're not, I mean, they do come out with a new drug every 5 years or so, but still, I mean, all right, let me ask you this, because this is really where this is going. What medical treatment are you actually seeking for potential improvement?
Well, I get an infusion every like 28 days, which I got another one coming up on Monday. But I feel, because my infusions are like a cancer treatment, basically. And I'm just, this last one really kicked me in the backside.
And what does that mean? Like literally the lower back, or what does that mean?
No, just the treatment itself just kicked me in the rear end, where I have a hard time walking. I've been getting dizzy, and I'm really fatigued. And I've been telling these doctors that, and all they want to give me is a pill for this and a pill for that. You know.
Sure. So I guess what I would ask you is this. I mean, where are you at currently with, continuous, state? Are you at the point where you can barely walk and you have crutches, or you have, canes, or you have a walker, wheelchair, rollator, etc.? Or are you at the point where you're having to, start having eye issues where everything's blurry, you're having a difficult time seeing up close or really far away? Like, where are you at with it?
I'm using a cane right now. They had me on a walker and all that. But then I just graduated to a cane with a bigger end, But that's where I'm at right now, is just with a cane,
Okay. Okay. All right. So.
And I got to start the whole Social Security thing all over again, because the 60 days passed. And
well, why don't you just use the 404.911?
And that is what?
It's the extend the 60-day allowance for excusable negligence. It's like a whoops, I missed the deadline. So look up SSA 404.911.
Okay, I will do that.
Perfect. So to answer your legal question, yeah, immediately, keep the original claim going, use the 404.911. And then basically seek to get if they don't want to pass it through, amend your alleged onset date to the day before you became 50, and then shoot from there, go from there. That'll be your main focus. But remember, for MS, they're looking for particular things to be prescribed to you and particular things for the medical record to show. So that's kind of like a bigger, and maybe I should do a video on that. But the bottom line is you got to, learn about what they're specifically looking for, these judges, when it comes to MS, and where they expect you to be. Because, if you're current, how much are you earning per month right now?
Less than $1,000 a month.
All right. So you're under SGA, so you're good there. The MS is obviously lasting more than 12 months. You don't sound like you're listing level, but your options are, can you do your past work? No. Can you do other types of simple jobs? Maybe. That's the element that's going to kick you in the butt, is element 5 of the 5-step sequential.
All right. That'll give me some stuff to think about, and I'll just have to go from there.
Perfect. Sounds good. Excellent, good sir. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You as well.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Go ahead and walk me through, what is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, Walter. This is Julie. I spoke to you on Tuesday. You told me to call back today.
Okay.
I was the one that had the basically the quick hearing. I applied last year, June 23rd, and I basically got a hearing coming up in this June.
Okay, gotcha.
So everything took a year. So my attorney, I've not spoken to him not once. Every time I call, I get the paralegal, and they relay messages through him.
Okay.
So I called and said, the hearing is coming up in a couple of months, and they gave me that date of May 26th, and the hearing is June 5th. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, don't I need more days or more time for prep?
Yeah.
And they sent a message through them to him, and he said, no, that should be, the only time that we need to go through everything. And I'm like, does that sound right? I just feel like I'm
that's not
set up for failure.
That's not how I do it. I do it a different way, but the way I do it costs too much. So maybe I'm wrong, but the way I do it is, because look, I really want to win claims, and the things that come out of the claimants' mouths, they kill claims very quickly. So I'm very aware and on top of getting claimants to know the questions, know what types of answers they're shooting for, know how to listen for, the trick questions, know when to duck when the judge is moving the cannon at them, know how to basically start to see the categories of questions that are coming their way. When the claimant knows categories of questions, that to me says they're approaching getting ready for that hearing. When a claimant knows consistently how to answer like the medium and easy questions, that to me says, okay, they're getting ready for their hearing. But when a claimant comes to me and says, I've never actually really spoken to the attorney and run questions, I know that claimant is going to wing it in that hearing. And, basically I know that they're not going to have a higher likelihood of being approved. So, one of the today, my, how I do those like private 1 hours and people pay me $250 and then I like work on them with some questions. So today's version of that was same gig that you're going through, except, I think it was a big box firm. I think it was, I'm not going to say their name, but it was one of the big box firms up north that works with, they like wiggle their way into all of the, all of the unions and stuff like that. So, so they get all those referrals and the insurance companies as well. So the thing is this, those particular individuals, they don't train you guys. So here's the funny thing. When I get a claimant that's like the hearing's in a week, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take it, I'll work it. And then I get like 2 chances to work with them. My style of doing hearings does not work as well because my questions, what are your top 5 impairments? When did each begin? When did each become severe? What are 2 symptoms/signs per each impairment? What are your medications and side effects per each medication? What are your jobs and the functions of your jobs? And why can't you do these functions anymore? Claimants that have no idea how to answer those questions, like they don't do well with my system because they just don't have any answers. So like if we run that, right? And that's like the intro, that's the basic. If we run that and I say, all right, so let's run a couple of questions. Ma'am, what are your top 5 most severe disabling medical conditions that limit your ability to work? Go ahead.
I would say I have degenerative disc disease in my neck, PTSD, depression and anxiety. I have chronic, I have arthritis in my knee as well. I'm about to have surgery actually tomorrow on my knee.
Okay. What's the most severe physical of all of those?
Physical, probably my neck. I have multiple bulging discs and pinched nerve. I've had the spinal injection.
Okay.
And that was in January, and they're wanting to try it again in June before we start thinking about surgical options.
What is the most severe mental impairment that you have?
I would say that would be anxiety, PTSD, and it results from the car accident that I was in, that I had the broken neck, broken knee, and broken foot.
Okay, so we know when these became severe because it's easy. Car accident ones are like, we know exactly when it happened. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you some tougher questions. Do you still currently have a license?
Yes, I do.
Do you still currently own a car?
Yes.
Okay. How do you get your groceries?
I either order it or I have a worker that comes out 7 days a week for 3 hours and 45 minutes that helps me with ADLs, the dishes, washing clothes.
Okay.
That was appointed by the state.
Okay. So, but you still currently own a car and you still drive that car, correct?
I drive it occasionally, short distances, because the leg that's impaired is my driving leg, my right knee and my right foot.
Okay. Have you adapted to use your left foot or are you still using your right foot?
I'm still using my right foot.
And you can still walk to the car, get into the car, do the motions, turning the wheel, looking at the mirrors?
I can do that, but I don't drive. I haven't driven like a long distance. The most is like literally around a corner, about 10 minutes.
Okay. How do you measure 10 minutes?
Well, on my time, like I've been living over here for 30 years, so I know how the distance around a corner to the store.
Okay. So like how to like drive to the store, the distance, the turns and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you put away the groceries, do you wait until the person comes and helps you, or do you like just put them away once you get home?
Well, the person pretty much does it because I can't lift. The last time I lifted, pouring a bowl of cereal, a jug of milk, my hand went numb because the pain that I have in my neck goes down my arm, and my arm gets weak, and I have like the numbness and weakness in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So now I get the cartons of milk instead of the jug.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to like open a water bottle, and I couldn't open the top because my hand it goes numb.
Okay. So, I mean, let me ask you this. What's the heaviest item that you can lift of the groceries that you do bring home?
Probably the half gallon of milk.
Okay. Now, when you have the half gallon of milk and you put it into the fridge, do you put it away up high, or do you put it like, where on the level of your body are you able to put it into the fridge?
Probably chest level, because when I lift up, like she puts my helper puts the cereal on top of the fridge. When I go to lift up there, my back is just, I have like the stabbing pains in my neck, and that's what starts the shooting pain that goes down my arm. So I just have it like chest level.
Okay.
I don't put anything where I have to reach up, because that starts like that stabbing pain in my neck, and it starts the whole trigger of the pain going down my arm.
Okay. What hours does this person usually come to help you out?
10 in the morning until 1:45 p.m.
Okay. So, I mean, just to be fair, when it comes to grocery shopping, do you always have the groceries, delivered during that time, or sometimes do you bring them in after that time?
It's usually during that time, and I have my one of my daughters. She stays here, but she doesn't. She's hardly here.
Okay.
She may be here, hit or miss. So when the groceries are delivered, the person, they just kind of put it inside of my door.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, good. So, all right, now let me refresh kind of where we're at. Originally, you said that you don't really go ahead and drive the car that far, but by the end of this, or that you put away groceries. By the end of this, I would have you on record saying not only can you drive to the grocery store, you can pick up your groceries, you can bring them home, you can put them away. There's a limitation as to how high. There's a limitation as to how much weight. And then, you also said in the very earlier part that it's really just that person who's doing that, who comes once a day. So what you've got to be careful of is I led you down this little tiny road of you saying, no, I can't really do that. And then I got you to talk about it and open up about it. And now all of a sudden I can drive there. Yeah, I can pick up the groceries. I can grocery shop. I can bring them home. I can put them away, but there's limitations here and here. So what you've got to be careful is that I kept putting words and leading words into the questions. Now, the attorneys are not supposed to use leading questions, but the judges abuse the hell out of it. And they'll put leading words in those questions, and they'll get you to agree with it and then just keep walking with it.
Okay. I kind of caught that.
Yeah. Well, I think it did catch it because I noticed you kind of changed the direction you were going, and then you brought in your daughter. And I was like, she's figured it out. But the point is, you just got to watch out for that because, and that's again, that's a higher level thing. Like, where I'm just adding little notes in there to go ahead and get you to be like, yeah, I guess I could do that. Because remember, what they're gauging is your capacity to do a job consistently over that day. Right. So you're consistently doing that job. So what they're asking is, well, look, if she can drive, right, she could drive to a job. She claims that she has difficulty, but yet she drives to go buy groceries. She's able to drive the groceries home. She's able to put the groceries away. She has these abilities. So if you take it from not your perspective, right? If you take it from the perspective of she could do this, what I've gauged and learned from this is, yes, she still has a license. Yes, she owns a car. Yes, she can drive. Yes, she can go to groceries. Yes, she can walk up and down the aisles. Yes, she can pick out the groceries, although they're limited in weight. And the question I would have gone after is, okay, well, what's the largest item, the heaviest item you can pick out? What's an example of an item that's too heavy? We go down that road. And then basically we come back to, okay, she's able to drive them home. Well, the question becomes, are you able to unload them into your car and then basically unload them from the car into your house? Well, by, answering, you've already answered that, because you said, okay, when you arrive home and you go to put away groceries, how do you do it? Are there any limitations? So I can now automatically assume that you're able to unload them from the grocery cart into your car without limitation.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so like, and that's the thing is like when attorneys are like, hey, just wing it, tell the truth, yeehaw. I always look at it as like, okay, well, and here's the thing. Part of my reason that I do so much hearing questions with the claimants is that I like smooth hearings. I hate when the judges are screaming at me or the claimant. Like, I just don't like it. It's not a pleasant experience. So from my perspective, just to kind of boil it down, your goal here is to give yourself the best shot at knowing the category of grocery shopping. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of the category of grocery shopping. In order to grocery shop, you have to have money. In order to grocery shop, you have to usually be able to have a car available, driver's license, have the physical and mental abilities to go ahead and drive. So right off the bat, I know that your mental impairments are not bad enough to keep you from reacting, and mental and physical, quickly enough to drive on roads, make turns, avoid traffic, avoid pedestrians, avoid bicyclists, all that stuff. I know that you have the capacity to do that now. And so when it comes to, okay, now you're driving, right? So did you have a tough time getting into the vehicle? How long can you sit in that seat? Can you read and understand what's going on in the mirrors? Can you turn your head to see what's going on all the mirrors? Are you able to go ahead and have proper eye-hand coordination? Are you able to use the levers to go ahead and left signal, right signal, right? So your right leg, I'm thinking, well, the leg must not be that bad, because it can, with fine detail, right, assists the pedal in picking the correct speed. So right off the bat, I'm assuming, well, okay, she has fine manipulative features with her toes and her feet to use the pedal properly, and the same thing with her hands. So then the question becomes, why couldn't she just do a data entry job, right? I mean, it sounds like you could. And that's the perspective they come from.
Okay. So they wouldn't look at the fact that I require a caregiver 7 days a week for 3.5 hours, or 3 hours and 45 minutes a day?
So here's the thing. They will totally take that in. But you tell me, in the equation of the judge asking you questions, who invalidated the very need of that person coming with testimony that said you could do stuff? Who was the person who said they could do all those things?
They said I can do it, or?
Right. You said, hey, I can do these things. And so what happened is, now all of a sudden, the requirement of this person to be there to do stuff for you, well, now it looks like you have the capacity to do these things on your own. And that while they're there to help you, and that's good, you still potentially could do these things on your own. So that's what it looks
Okay, I
like.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Mhm.
And I just haven't had, I just feel like the prep before the lawyer is a week, less than 2 weeks before the date, and it's just going to be rushed. And like, I've been watching your videos, and I got like notes and everything as far as like how to answer the medications, what's a sign versus a symptom. I've been just taking notes on all of that, because I feel like that's what I'm going to be relying on.
Gotcha.
Versus the attorneys. Okay, well, I appreciate you answering my questions, because I just thought it was weird. I didn't know what kind of, the whole timeline, how fast I got a hearing versus, a lot of people wait years to even get like the hearing date.
I mean, this is what I would say. If you really want to improve at this, for every question that you hear, you have to be able to explain why you'd have difficulty with it. So, and I've kind of run over the time here, but just try and run it. I mean, you can always call me back next Tuesday, but try and figure out why you'd have difficulty with each function. And certain functions fit into a category. Okay, so if we're talking about cooking, we're talking about following recipes, getting things ahead of time to go ahead and cook, make sure that things are appropriately on, you're not burning things, not leaving things open, not leaving things on. These questions all fit into categories. So if you can master enough questions, you can start to see the categories. And if you can see the categories, you can see where the judge is going to try and trick you.
Okay, I got it.
Perfect. Excellent.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I love all of your videos. I have so many notes on them.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, and we'll catch you in the future, and all the best with that upcoming hearing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Have a
ma'am.
good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to go ahead and mute the computer on your side. Oh, I don't know what happened there. So, guys, I'm going to actually take one more call. I'm feeling super tired. I don't know what happened. I just got tired. I was working all day, and it is tough. But let me go ahead and see if I can get this call real quick. And speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Please remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hey, Walter, my name's Alex, and I'm 59 and 3 months old.
Okay.
Last September, I had heart failure.
Okay.
And ended up having to have open heart surgery.
Okay.
And while they were in there, they had to replace a valve, and they found that I had a enlarged heart.
Okay.
And they had a procedure that they had to abandon because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts me in risk of some stroke issues and things like that.
Sure.
Now, I am now being medically disqualified from my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about filing for disability.
Sure.
When should I try that? When should I apply for that?
Well, you're 69 years old, right?
I'm 59.
Oh, 59. Okay.
59 in 3 months.
So the bottom line is when you're facing the exit strategy, you want to make sure you have short-term disability lined up, long-term disability lined up, and then basically the immediate moment you're not making SGA, that $1,150 or $1,550 per month, that you're filing for SSDI benefits. And the whole idea is that you want to get that in as soon as possible. Because remember, it used to take 3 to 6 months, 2017, 2018 to go ahead and adjudicate an initial filing. Now it's like 17, 18 months. It ain't good. So the bottom line is you want to get that in as soon as possible. You want to ride the LTD benefits until you basically get your adjudication. And your whole game is going to be grid out, grid out, grid out, grid out. You're not shooting for a listing. Yeah. You're not shooting for a vocational allowance. You want grid out. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I should at this time go ahead and apply?
Immediately. Yeah.
Immediately. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what so I just saw my doctor, my cardiologist, a few days ago, and he was like, "Yep, we've got you out of work for indefinitely." So,
gotcha. Hey, just make sure you get an RFC letter from him explaining that, and with the surgery details. Remember, the judges need to see specifically why it would be too medically problematic for you to go ahead and do that. Yeah. Whether it's a heart wall or actual heart in general sort of thing. So. Yeah. And then the other thing too is, remember the cardiovascular things, be careful because cardio people and neuro people, they pass away out of nowhere. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. Okay. That was my question. So I didn't know exactly if I went ahead and filed right now, if I was wasting my time, but I'll get right on that.
Get right on it. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Should I get legal help to fill that out?
So this is what I always tell people. How important is it to you to be found disabled? So a lot of people are like, oh, it's life or death. And then a lot of people are like, well, I really like it. And then a lot of people that are on LTD benefits, they're like, well, I don't want to have to, you know what I mean? Like I want my LTD carrier not to be coming after me for the rest of the time. So my point to you would be, look, there are a few times in your life where you usually have somebody that's going to back you on something, right? So when you're filing your taxes and it's a weird tax year, usually, you'll get an accountant to go ahead and take a look at a CPA and work on it and then go from there. When you have, a situation like disability benefits, usually you want to get somebody who can guide you on the direction of it. So this is what I tell people. When you are looking to file for disability benefits, if you're like, I don't want to, potentially, have to pay the attorney's fee, which is not much. It's 25%. It's the lowest kind of attorney's fee you can get in all the different attorney fields. I say to them, look, you can always hire me for an hour and I'll go through details with you about, what to do, what to prep, etc., yada, yada. But then I also tell people, look, in that hour, you can't review the entire claim. You can just give general information and some specifics on, like, take this road, make a left, and then 2 rights, and you're there. So if you want somebody to go through the process with you to build it and then do more than one phone call and keep you on track and keep you doing the right thing. And so the main thing is this, like, people will call about doctor's visits. They'll be like, hey, I went to the doctor said this, right? And then, the attorney goes, okay, cool. Well, what you're shooting for is this, and this. So you make sure you say this, and this, and make sure you get this test. And then the person goes, okay, I got this test. What do I do now? And so if you only do the hour, there's no follow-up. There's no, like, what happens thereafter. And I know when I do these hours, I literally have somebody sign the sheet that says, like, they understand that this is just for that hour. It's not like for the rest of time, So that's one of the things people run into as an issue is, like, what is the next step? What do I do? How do I keep proving this claim? Because claims are not usually won on the first step of, like, I'm doing this thing and poof, I'm magically found disabled. Claims are usually won by repetitive, consistent right choices. And so, your claim, your current age, higher likelihood of getting approval, right? You're even close to potentially the 60 plus grid out. Yeah, so, correct. There's that option. But at the same time, to bolster the likelihood of a faster approval is very much so in your interest, because even if you have to pay, let's say, let's say that you have to pay. Okay, so and let me do this. Let's do a psychological analysis of this. If you had to pay $1,000 to get found disabled the first round, would you do it?
Yes.
What about $2,000?
Yes.
$3,000?
Yes.
$4,000? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, I have a little bit of money,
Sure.
But yeah, if $4,000, if it was to get me my disability, I probably would do it.
Sure. And that's the thing, is that if you get found disabled at the initial run through, I mean, it could be $1,000, it could be $3,000, it might be $6,000, or the highest potentially of $7,200. It depends on what your back pay / retroactive benefits are. But the point is, at what point do you say it was too expensive? Because when you are sitting pretty at 2 denials going to the hearing and you're like, shit, would have been cheaper, just to get it done earlier. That's, that's the reality you face. Yeah.
You're correct. Yep.
Yeah.
I understand. Yep. So I'm in California.
Sure.
And if I was to call your firm, that's not an issue.
Oh, no, we have a ton of Cali claimants, Texas claimants. We even have claimants that are in Taiwan, in U.S. possessions, Virgin Islands. We have claimants all over at this point. So the main thing, that you just have to watch out for are circuit court rulings. The district court rulings, not so much, but the circuit court rulings, that's the little changes before they've had an SSR rule that really makes or breaks the situation. Yeah.
What about if it came down to a hearing?
So all of my hearings out of state are telephonic, and most of my hearings are telephonic. And the reason why, a lot of people have a lot of reasons for doing this type or that type, but there's 4 main types of hearings. There's in person, right? That's where you physically go in front of the judge. Then number 2 is video telephonic from the hearing office. That's where you're doing a video, a Zoom basically, although they don't use Zoom, they use Microsoft, but a Zoom from, being in the hearing building to a judge that's usually at home or in a hearing building. Then you have basically video teleconference, a Zoom from your home to a judge that's usually at their home. I mean, sometimes they're at the hearing office. And then there's video, and then there's telephonic. Telephonic, what are the advantages? The main advantage, and there's a lot of them, but I don't want to go too far into this because, you could spend a whole hour going through this. The main advantage is having all of your lists in front of you of, all of your bullet points, top 5 impairments, when they began, when they became severe, what are the medications, what are the side effects, what are your current symptoms and signs of your medical conditions, what did you do at your past job, what are the, the types of functions that you did them. You have all these lists. Now, with video telephonic, the judge can look at you and say, I don't want you reading from those. Put everything on the table away. And a lot of judges do that. And when you do the in-person, you ain't getting away with anything. You ain't getting away with anything because they're looking right at you. But, telephonic, you can have these. And unless you're wavering papers, they're never going to know. So my preference is to have really detailed, lots of question, hearings with answers, because, the whole point of this is to convince a judge that you're disabled by your testimony. And when your testimony is, I don't know how to answer that question, what are your top 5 conditions? Oh, I have pain in my knee and I get tired, I get angry, that's shit. And you can't do much with that, because then once you have that, right, then you have to say to the claimant, no, a condition is degenerative disc disease, arthropathy, neuropathy, arthritis, or anxiety, depression, PTSD, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar, mood disorder. It's all of these things that you have to be able to answer right up front. And so when a person can't do that, it throws the whole swing of the hearing off. When a person just goes, I don't know, and then they go, that's really just my impairment, I don't know. The problem with that line of logic is that you're missing every opportunity to convince that judge how truly bad you are. Because when the judge hears day in and day out somebody go, well, I don't know, I'm not sure. And then the judge goes, well, can you tell me about your conditions? Well, I don't know. I get sick sometimes and I like to stay in bed. I'm mostly sleeping. I sleep throughout the day. I get pain when I go to the bathroom and brush my teeth. And I don't wear a lot, but that's what I do. And so the judge's options are, okay, so where do we go from here? Can we ask about driving? Can we ask about this or that? We can, but they're all very limited. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about this whole structured system is that judges pay attention more when you have specific facts to your testimony. So if you're talking about cooking and you're talking about specific ingredients, their brain is more engaged. When you're talking about doing laundry and you're talking about difficult clothing for you to go ahead and put on, or difficult clothing for you to lift up, like heavy jackets, shoes, stuff like that, to put into the washer, their brain is turned on. When you use specific brands, their brain turns on, and it convinces them that you're a real person as opposed to just not one of the 5 hearings that you have that day. So the main focus is specifics that show your impairments. Like if I were to ask a person that just has not prepared, right? Okay, what's the heaviest thing you can lift? I don't know, something that's like 5 pounds. That's not the heaviest thing you can lift because that's not a specific item, a specific brand. So the judge is like, okay, cool, it's that. Well, what's something, and what I always like to ask claimants is, okay, what's the heaviest thing you can lift? What's something that's slightly heavier than that you can't lift? And then their brain's like, crap, I don't know. Maybe it's like orange juice. Maybe it's like, a pair of, boots. And it makes their brain take that next level. So they're like, okay, well, I've got this pair of Wrangler boots that I just can't lift because they have those metal toes in them and they're just too heavy. That is a great answer. The other answer is, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's just most things are too heavy. That's a crap answer. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, I have strength. I can lift, 25 to 30 pounds. But the issue with my surgery is I'll have a good day.
Sure.
And feel great. And I'll get out and do something and I'll kind of overextend myself and then I'm down for 2 or 3.
Sure.
It just kicks my butt. And just because of the shortness of breath and just the whole fatigue. It's a horrible thing. So, but I do have strength. It just doesn't last.
Sure.
Yeah. But, okay. Well, I appreciate it. And, I guess I'll give you a call at this number again.
Yeah. You can give me a call tomorrow. Just keep in mind, we're 3 hours ahead. So, just now keep in mind also, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm just going to give you a quick heads up. I have one of those hours scheduled for my lunch period at 12 noon. So if you wake up and call me at 9, you'll probably get back office. But if you want to catch me, call me around, like, I would say your time, 11-ish. I should be able to catch up then.
Okay.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, good sir.
Thank you, Walter.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye-bye. So real quick, guys, I want us to do a super thank you to Danny, who, obviously ICRN, registered nurse, did the $4 donation there. I'll do one more phone call. I just want to go ahead and see what are the last 2 numbers of her, so you can type. Hold on, let me see. So real quick, So Danny, what are the last 2 of your number? That way I can go ahead and pull it up real quick. When you call in, that way I can grab it real quick. Or even if you just give me the last one. Are you calling right now? Hell, it says a name and I can't say the name. So tell me, are you calling? Danny, are you calling right now? Tell me this. Yes, maybe not. Yes. Is that it? It's got it. All right, we're just going to take it. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, I had just recently filed for disability in January, and I have spinal stenosis in my neck and in my lumbar region.
Okay.
I had 3 surgeries, 2 in my neck and 1 in my lower back.
Okay.
And I just got a letter from the adjudicator or whatever, DDD or whatever, and I just got it today, and I'm supposed to have it turned back in by the 24th, all of these questions and everything.
Okay.
But I was just going to hurry up and fill them out and then fax it over there. But, oh gosh, I wrote my question down. I'm so nervous. I forgot what it is.
Yeah, go for it.
Are they typically positive? Like he said, like, your condition is severe and you've had the surgeries and I see all this. But he still wanted some psych notes from my therapist that I've seen for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? I mean, he made it sound like I was going to be rewarded the disability.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to look at the medical documentation. I have to see, where things are leaning, what they're saying compared to the listing level criteria. I'd have to see. I have to look at it. Like, I just, when people call me and they're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "You gave me 2 sentences." You know what I mean? Like, all right, if you want me to do the real basics, all right, what is your current age?
I'm 58.
Okay. What are the top 5 most severe impairments?
The spinal stenosis, cervical spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, and cervical spine and lumbar spine, lumbar spinal stenosis.
Okay.
PTSD, anxiety, depression.
How many times have you had surgery on your back?
3 times.
Okay. And all those have failed at this point?
Yes. Well, I mean, I've had fusions and those have not failed, but I still have severe pain in my neck and in my low back. I've had continuous physical therapy since, the first surgery, which was June of 22. Then I had one in April of 22. I had one in the low back in April of 23. And then August of 23 was my low back.
Okay, gotcha.
But I've been in therapy. I'm on the opioids, the gabapentin, and just all the meds and stuff.
So real quick, ambulatory devices. I mean, prescribed like a walker, a wheelchair. What are we looking at?
I have a walker and a cane. I use the cane because the walker's so heavy. I can't, really maneuver it around and lift it into the car and stuff. I'm able to drive, but if I sit for like more than probably 30 minutes, then I get severe pain when I get up and stuff.
What about your hands? Do you have dexterity with your hands? Are you able to type on a keyboard? Are you able to data input, all that stuff?
I can't type very well. I've been trying to get online and I can't even get the stuff typed in quick enough anymore because my hands are messed up I have carpal tunnel, I just found out, because the neurosurgeon said, well, your neck isn't, I don't have anything that he can see except for the bilateral foraminal stenosis. I still have that. But he's saying that's not causing the pain down my arms and in my shoulders.
Okay. This is what I would say, just to clarify. It sounds like a good claim. It sounds like something that would be rolling in the right direction. I don't know if there's any silver bullets in it that would hurt it, but it sounds like a very positive in the direction of an approval. Yeah.
He sounded very positive. I just don't understand why he waited so late or wants the stuff back so fast after I just got it. But is it better to, he wants me to have a telehealth psych appointment? Is it better to have that by telehealth or in person? Because they gave me all of this stuff about your privacy is not protected. And so I don't know.
It depends. It depends on the claimant, but that's like a huge phone call kind of thing. That's like a video on its own. When it comes to telehealth for mental or versus in-person mental review, what I like to do for CEMEs is actually have them where the person physically goes to them. I feel that that's a better connection. They can read your facial, emotions and how your eyes are working, because remember, when you have like one of these things with the mental doctors or physical doctors, they're gauging, okay, what is their interaction rate? Are they able to keep up with me? Are their eyes able to go ahead and see what's going on? Are they able to follow me down the hall? Are they able to open doors on their own? Are they able to understand the sentence and where I'm going with the questions? And it just works better from a medical perspective to physically be seeing the face directly in front of them. It's not a situation like where you're in front of a judge where you want to have the advantage where they can't necessarily see, what you're reading or what you're doing and stuff like that, where you can give better answers. But with the doctors, and that's what one of the tough things is, that when you go in there and you interact with them, they're going to write down, how well did you participate? Did you seem like you were being, trustworthy and telling the truth? Or is it one of those things where you're just not, being very forward with, accurate answers? Like you're just trying to, say the things that will, try in your mind to get you disability benefits. So I guess what I would say is this: you do want to go to a CE mental, you do want to go to CE physical. You just have to be careful, because when you go to those, if you don't really have training on how they work, the problem is at the end of the day that realistically, those doctors tend to be very biased against the claimants. So even if you have really good evidence, those doctors could come through and their weight of evidence would be extremely strong because of the 2017 rule changes, which means that, you would be put on the back step, on the back foot. Now, with that said, the listing level criteria for these back issues, fusion specifically, and all that, they usually look for 3 failed surgeries. That's kind of like what they're looking for. So this sounds like a good claim, but again, you've got to say the right things, do the right things in front of those CE physical doctors.
Yeah, he didn't say that I had to go for a physical. He just said for the mental one.
So yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to just say, I think that's because the psychologist that I've seen for 20 years is pretty much retiring, and she's hardly ever in her office. And so he can't get a lot of notes from her.
I mean, like, if they don't have enough medical records for the mental, then they'll go ahead and send you to a CE, but that really works to your disadvantage, because at the end of the day, the problem is, your doctor that you've been seeing all this time kind of stabbed you in the back with not giving you enough of his time to write out what the records are supposed to be. And that's one of the issues you run into with really old doctors, is that they're not going into a back room after that and writing up these huge, like, here's the fact pattern, here's the history of the condition, here's what we worked on, here's the conclusion of what we're shooting for. There's not a huge type up. They don't come from that world. It's only the newer ones that are using all these like online computer systems where they can easily copy and paste and fill one of these things out and get it, really full. So you do run into that issue. But yeah, they'll send you to the mental CE, and then about, I would say, 2 weeks later, that CE document as to the report will go into the ERE. And then after that, basically around 4 weeks after that, you'll probably get a decision.
Oh, okay. Yep. Wow. I was expecting it that quick.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, madam. Have a wonderful night.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So April did a $5 donation. Super amazing. Thank you for that. The Doggy Bones, very cool. I absolutely will get them some Doggy Bones. Batty Beth C did a $2 donation. Howdy, Walter. Howdy you as well. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking for Danny's phone number real quick. Let me see real quick. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to try and find it in here. I know the last 2 of the phone number. Although the kicker is, to be fair, if her name pops up and not the phone number, then I have to click into the name. Hold on, let me find those 2 last numbers again so I can see specifically what they were. Okay, so that's what they are. All right, let me see if I can find this person here. Let me see. Nope. What we may have to do is start with her next time, because you have to understand there's so many people that call this phone that I'm not sure I'm going to be actually able to locate the last 2 of those numbers. Although I'm trying. Let me see. Nope. Yeah, there's literally over like 50 people who called. Oof. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Danny, here's the deal. On next Tuesday, I will be live. Catch up with me, or just try and shoot me a quick email. I'll try and get back to you. But catch up with me. We will go ahead and answer the question that you have. Jamie Marie said $1.99 donation. Do you do disability discrimination? If so, I'll email you about the representation. So I don't do traditional ADA discrimination-based claims because I just don't have enough time. You can always I'm not going to have enough time during the week, but you can always call during the live and ask me questions about it. And we can kind of go over issues, analysis, things like that. Now, with that said, I'm going to end. We're actually supposed to be for an hour. So we're at 59 minutes and 45 seconds, 46 seconds. So I want to thank you all for basically asking these incredible questions. I want to thank you all for being part of the live show, which is absolutely always amazing. Please remember to like, please remember to subscribe, and please remember to go to Google and type in Disability Resolution Florida or Disability Resolution Law Firm and throw some stars up there. I will catch you guys a little bit later. And remember, if you needed more than 5 to 7 minutes to go ahead and have something answered, you can always do the buy-in where you pay the $250 for a private hour, where I just go ahead and answer questions that you have for an hour or give you directions what you should be doing. I will catch you guys a little bit later. I hope you have a wonderful day. And we will go from there. And please remember to take care of yourself. It is a special year. And basically, we'll go from there. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Please remember to, say howdy to all the members. They're in green. And we will go from there. Thanks so much, everybody. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Have fun. Bye-bye.